Hello guys, welcome to Linux commands tutorial for Python developers. In this tutorial, you are going to learn a lot of Linux basic commands. So these are the overview of the Linux system basic commands: relative and absolute path, redirect, pen, and pip, permission, how you can give file permission, and process management and install different softwares or Linux system and different text editors as well. And so the overview of Linux system is about kernel and shell. When you think about the Linux system, we always think about the two basic systems that Linux has, kernel and shell. So the Linux is an operating system in general, like Windows operating system, Mac operating system, or any other operating system. So Linux system is described as kernel and shell. The kernel is a main program of Linux system. It controls hardwares, CPU, memory, hard disk, network card, etc. All the hardware systems or you computer system is controlled by the kernel. And the shell is the outer user interface of the kernel. So as you can see, this circular diagram, system is kernel, so it can control the whole hardware systems of your computer system. And above the kernel, there is a shell, and outside of the this circular is user. The user can interact with the system, Linux system, that is the shell and kernel. So the shell is an interface between the user and the kernel. So shell interprets your input as commands and pass them to the kernel. So we'll enter any inputs, then that shell going to interpret your input as commands and pass to the kernel. So because Linux system can understand everything as a command, the use of shell is to interpret your input as commands and then just pass the commands, the user inputs that's interpreted as commands to kernel. Then the kernel going to process because of the kernel means the main program of the Linux system, and that can control your hardware systems. So this is the layouts of Linux system in general. Linux system can support multi-user or multi-processes than Windows. Many people can use one machine at the same time. It can be distributed. It can be used as a server as well as a client at the same time. So multiple user or many user can access a single Linux machine at the same time. That is what the advantage of Linux system. And in the file and the process, a data, directory, process, hard disk, etc. Almost everything are expressed as a file. One thing that you keep in mind is that when you plug in virus, the files which is affected by virus on Linux system, is it going to be understand or expressed as a file. That means if that virus is converted or understood by Linux system as a file, that cannot be distributed or duplicated itself. That is the main advantage of Linux system. And the process is an running program identified by a unique ID. Every process which is running on a Linux machine is identified by process ID, or that identifies unique ID. You can kill that running program by using command based on that unique ID. So one ID for one process. Okay. The other is directory structure. Files are put in a directory in Linux. All directories are in hierarchical structure like tree structure. User can put and remove any directories on the tree, which is from the directories. And the top of the directory is a forward slash, like forward slash, which is a slash called a root. That is the top of the directory, and users have the own directory, like home directory. And when you log into the Linux system, you will find the home directory. So every user have their own home directory. So this is the Linux directory structure. The top of the directory is root directory that is represented as slash. And under this root directory, there are a lot of directories being, let me show you. For example, I am using Kali Linux system. I don't use Windows at all. So when you go to the file system, the file system is look like this. The top directory is this one, root directory, that is represented as a slash. That is a root directory. Under the root directory, because of a directory in Linux are structured like tree structure, there is a root, the child, parent, like that. Bin is found like this one. Boot, dev, for development, etc. All configuration files going to be stored or kept in the etc. Home directory is the working directory of every user have. So this is the structure of the Linux system. The important directories of Linux systems that are essential for correct operation of the system. Those are available for user by all users. So every user can access this. That is the bin. And amenity, that is this one. This also provides location for mounting devices such as remote file systems and removable devices like flash devices, which is kept in this and provides a location. This is a location for mounted devices like flash disk, etc. And the home is this is the for example, in this case, I have two users, one user Noh and No, two users in the home directory. Currently, I am logged as No, and you can also log in the another users in the same machine. So this is where user home directories are stored. Var, this directory is used to store files which change frequently and must be available to be written to. This is a temporary file. Frequent files are stored in the var variable, like a lot of files, and also worldwide or www is also located in this var, and you can keep your web applications, PHP based web applications in this directory, and you can develop your application. The other is etc. Various system configuration files are stored here. etc is very important. Every system configurations are kept in this file, and this etc. You see, when you install, for example, Apache web server is Apache web server configuration is also here. So very important system configurations are kept in this directory. Other most important is dev. This contains various devices such as hard disk, CD-ROM, etc. Like system-based hardware devices in the device, or this one. Root, this is the root or the administrator user's home directory, because as I said earlier, there are two users, the super user and normal user. So the root user is the administrator of the user, the system. So there may be a lot of users that they access the same system, and the root user can administer the whole users. So this is the root administrator users home directory. You can find root directory. There are two users in Linux, normal user and super user. In Linux system, there is one special user for administering the system, which can do anything. The super user has a permission to do delete, updates, or modify anything. But the normal user has no permission without given a permission by super user. So this special user is called root or super user. And the other is case sensitivity. Linux, like Unix, is a case sensitive. Actually, the Linux commands are based on Unix command. And for example, my file.doc, my file.doc, my file.doc are different. Online manuals are available for Linux systems. You can learn more about how to use Linux system. So this is an overview of Linux system. Today, I'm going to show you some basic commands, how to run commands on Linux terminal. Log in your system, and you can see this is your home directory. So this is a user now. Then add this one representing the domain name. The domain name, for example, in my case is Kali. So one command consists of three parts: command name, options, and arguments. So, for example, the command name like represents command name, option B, and argument, etc. So it can be consists of three parts. The command name is followed by the options or arguments. How to run commands between the command name, the arguments or options. There must be a space, and otherwise the Linux cannot recognize the command because Linux is case sensitive. For example, if you want to change the working directory, cd is change directory. Then there is option dot to change one step to back to the previous working directory. Then ls, for example, ls is a command that used to list all the directories or files in the current working directory. And for example, there is an option for a long list. When you run this, you can see that in my current home directory, because when you log into your system, you can find your home directory. Every normal user has one home directory, and every user in the Linux system can be administered by the root directory. So you can see the list of files in the home directory. This is the command, and which followed by the option. The option is long list. This represented the long list, and this is list all files in the working directory in the long list, which contains like this one. So there is a space between the two, the command and the option or arguments. Okay. Other most important basic commands that's used to is ls is that used to show the files in the current working directory. Change directory is cd. cp is copy file or directory. mv move file. or directory. Sometimes we use for renaming file. RM is remove files or directory. When you are working on remotely, you can remotely log in into the Linux system, and you can remove files, directories from the server system if the server is Linux. PWD show current working directory. For example, PWD. Yeah, the current working directory is home. In the home, the user is now. So I am logged in as now, and my working directory is home. You can see this PWD. mkdir, rmdir. mkdir is make a new directory in the current working directory. rmdir is remove the directory. Cut display files contents. Less is display file contents page wise. Man display online manual. For example, man, what manual page do you want? For example, try man ls. For example, if you wanted to know about ls, man ls, there are a lot of options you can see in that command you wanted to see. For example, -a all, a almost all, outer, b, for example. So you can see manuals of every commands. This is help us to find online manuals about the command that you want to know. Then you can put man command followed by the command name that you want to learn about. For example, ls outer. This is a list of files which are authorized by the user. And the other command is ls-a, lists all files, directories, including hidden. This dot represents hidden files. Yeah, like the configuration, the bash file. When you install a new software on your Linux system, it may create a bash file. For example, logout bash file is hidden. So if you want to see all hidden files, let me show you graphically. And my home, this is the user. As you can see, this is the home directory. The desktop is this one. It has a desktop, and the home is home. Then the user is now, and the home directory, you can't see the hidden files here. But when you run ls-a option, you can see all hidden files in the home directory. And other basic commands that you are going to learn is su, switch user. Su is just switch users from the current user to another user. And password. This is change password. User add, you can create new user account, and user delete user account. Mount file system, unmount file system, reverse back to the df is show disk space usage, shut down, reboot, or turn off your system. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you some basic commands. pwd, print current working directory, cd change directory, absolute and large paths, path completion, ls, mkdir, rmdir, and practice working with directories. Okay, the first step is pwd means just print the current working directory where you are working right now. You are, for example, in my case, I am in the home directory. And if I wanted to change from one directory to another directory, I can use cd. For example, if I wanted to change to etc, that is this slash represents the root directory. because etc is found in the root directory. You can see that the etc, and when you enter, now I am in the etc directory. I can check where I am. I am the etc working directory. If I wanted to change back to the home directory, I can just print cd space dot dot. This is one step back, change where the previous directory. I should change to home. No, this is my working directory. Yeah, I am currently in my home directory. This represents symbol represents the that is trick. A trick with cd means just typing cd without a target directory will put you in the home directory, in your home directory. For example, if I change my directory to root, now I am in the root directory, okay? And I wanted to change to the home directory, my own home directory, because root is not my home directory. Root is managed by the super user. So I am just in the super user directory, but I wanted to change to my own directory, cd, then this symbol. I am currently my own directory. All right. The other is absolute and relative paths. When you type a path starting with a slash, then the root of the file tree is assumed. Inside home, you have to type cd paul instead of cd paul. In this case, you should be careful if you are in the home directory. For example, let me list my home directories. Desktop is one directory. If I wanted to change to desktop, I don't use like this because this represented the root directory, but I am desktop is my own directory, and I want to change to the desktop. I just use, you see, such file, no such file or directory. So you can use desktop like this without forward slash, because you are in the current directory. All files or directories are in your own home directory. So now I am in the desktop directory. This is all my desktop files available. And I wanted to change back to the home directory, or normally I can work on desktop. So I am now on desktop. I can check my current working directory, that is home, no desktop. I am on my own directory, that is desktop directory. Every user has a desktop directory. Path compilation is one important thing. The tab key can help you in typing a path without errors. Typing cd, for example, 80, if you don't know the full file folder or directory name, you can simply remember the first letter of your the directory name. You can just typing tab, and you automatically it's going to complete the paths of your directory that you want to change. For example, let me change to the home directory, and I wanted to change to etc, and I can complete by tabbing, pressing tab key. It's going to complete automatically. I can list all the files which is located in the etc, because all configuration file is going to be found in the etc file. All right. ls is a command that you can list the contents of a directory with ls as ls like this, all the files which is found in the etc. ls minus a is, you can check, this is an option that includes all files. And ls minus l long list, which includes the user. For example, in this file etc, all the files are, and the permission read write, the root, that is the user, when the file is modified or created, the date, the size of the file, the time, everything going to be listed out if you use the option long list L. So this is a way how you can list the files or directories in your working directory, because I am on the etc working directory and I want to change it to back to my home directory. All right, trick off. Okay, many times you will be using options with ls to display the contents of directory in different formats, or to display different parts of the directory. Typing just ls gives you a list of files in the current working directory, and typing ls minus l, that is a letter a, not the number one, l, gives you a long listing. And the other is ls lh. Another frequently used ls is long list files. For example, lh, that is the same, which includes the size of your file, size, how many kilobyte, megabyte, which your file or directory is, and the permission of the file along with the user. For example, those two files are root user, administered by root user, Flutter, Flask admin, and so on. The other most important command is mkdir. That working around the Unix file tree is fun, but it is even more fun to create your own directories with mkdir. Now I am in the home. I wanted to change it to desktop. Desktop. The first letter in desktop is, as you can see here, capital. So you be careful when you working on Linux, because everything is case sensitive. So small letter desktop is different from this one. So you should be careful. You keep in mind the case sensitivity of Linux system or commands. Now I am on the desktop and I wanted to create, for example, mkdir Linux 2. Now I have created a Linux 2. I can list with long list. Where is my newly created directory? Can you see? This is the newly created directory. The permission, the user, the size, this is 4K. When it is created July 25, at what time? That is 1 o'clock around, and so on. The directory name is Linux. Okay, you can clear this for current. mkdir p is to create a parent directory. Like, for example, mkdir p, when give the option p, then mkdir will create parent directories as needed. How you can create a parent directories? Let me show you. For example, mkdir minus p, that the parent directory, for example, Linux 3, Linux 2, separated by slash, forward slash, Linux 1. Then you can enter. Now I can check that I have created Linux 3 with parent directories. When you open up the Linux 3, you can find the subdirectory Linux 2. And when you open up the Linux 2, you can find the subdirectories as Linux 1. you can see the paths of this when you are home, now, desktop, and Linux 3, Linux 2, Linux 1. This is the way how you can create the parent directories using a single command using -p option, Linux option. What about remove directory? rmdir is a way how you can remove directories. So you can just, for example, if I wanna remove the previously created directory, that is Linux 2, rmdir, just Linux 2. Now it is not, if it is successful, that file will not be found. I can check on desktop. Okay, Linux 2 is not found here. That was created because it is removed. What about the parent? For example, rmdir. Here I have a parent directory, Linux 3, 2 subdirectories, and I want to delete or remove this Linux 3. It is failed because directory not empty. So if you, it contains a subdirectory, so you can't remove the subdirectories or the files, which is the directories which is contains files using rmdir. So you can add the command, I mean the option p, the path or the subdirectories here. But I will show you the best thing here. Now Linux, the subdirectories are removed, so you can find the directories here. Let me create again the previous. Now I created back the subdirectory. So this is how you can simply working on directories. And the first one is display your current directory. Just pwd. That is my working directory is desktop home directory, and change to etc. Change to etc. Now I am in the etc in the root directory. I change it, and now change to your home directory using only cd-k process. How you can this one and enter. That is the home directory. From root directory, I change it to the boot grep directory using only 11 key process. 11 key process means cd. You can count the number of characters. Root, boot, then G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finally, gr. Then press tab key to complete the path. Now I am in the roots boot grep directory, in the root directory. Okay, go to the root directory, back to the root directory, cd. If you want to change it to two-step, now I have a subdirectories, and this one just change to or one step to the parent directory. If you want to change to the two steps, I need to press the cd, then I can use this one. This is two-step, and I can change like root directory. Now the parent directory. Okay, go to the list the contents of the root directory. All right, using ls, or the root directories are this. I list a long listing of the root directory. Long listing means -l, like this. Okay, then stay UR and list the contents of etc. ls etc, the contents of etc. you can just list the directory name that you want to list the contents of that directory this way, and stay where you are and list the contents of home directory. Still, I am in the root directory and I want to list the contents of the home directory. I can use like this. Yeah, the desktop, this is my own directory, but I am not in the home directory. I can access other users directory when I am in my own directory. That is the way. And the other is list all the files, including hidden files in your home directory, ls minus a hidden file in my home directory. I am still in the root directory, but I can list all files in my own home directory, including hidden files like dot dot. All right. Okay. The other question is list the files in boot. ls boot. I am in the root directory, and I can just see the files or the contents in the boot. Create a directory testdir in your home directory. I can now go to the home directory. Okay. And I can create mkdir testdir. Now I can check that testdir is created or not. Yes, this is created. Change it to etc. Now I can change it to etc in the root directory and stay here and create the directory new dir in your home directory. How you can create? I am in the root directory etc, but I want to create a directory in my home directory. mkdir home, then new dir. This is like this forward slash. Now I can list my home directory and I can see the newly created, that is new dir in my home directory, not etc. You cannot create file in the root directories, by the way. Okay, so these are the practices you should always working on these commands. When you practice every day, you can understand easily without any confusion. So files are case sensitive in Linux. Linux is case sensitive. This means that, for example, if you have file one in capital letter and file one in small letter, they are different. They are they have the same name, but they are different. So that's why Linux is a case sensitive. So as you can see here in the screenshot, winter.txt, winter.txt, both are the same file, but they are different because the first file names all letters are in small letter, and the second file, the first letter is in capital. Okay, in Linux, everything is a file. When you plug in a flash disk on your computer or Linux system, that disk is a file, not a disk drive. So a directory is also a special kind of file, directory. Even a terminal window like this is a file which is located in the root directory dev. And your hard disk file is also stored in dev, SCDP or SCDA. So this is also represented somewhere in the file system as a file. So it will become clear throughout this course that everything on Linux is a file. So every hardware, CPU, hard disk, flash disk, every hardware system also a file. That's why virus is not duplicated itself when it is connected to Linux system, because it is under it is a file when it is copied in the Linux system. Your editor does not care whether a file is in .txt or doc. So as a system administrator, you should use the file command to determine the file type. If you want to determine the file type of password, for example, which is located in etc, you can use the command file etc, then pass wd. So the type of the file, the password, which is located in the etc directory, that is ASCII type. So the file extension is not determining the file type, but you can determine the file type using file command. It is interesting to point out that file with S extension, option is for special file like CPU information. For example, if you want to determine the file type of CPU information, that is proc found in CPU info. So this is MIT. So if you want to determine this is a special file, so you can use S option before the file name. Sorry. The command name is not correct. Yeah, the file type right now is ASCII text with very long lines, that is 5 to 7. If you want to clear the screen, you can use clear command. Yes, it clears the screen and it begins with the first, like this. You can use arrows down and up. For example, up, just automatically copy the previously used commands like this. If you arrow up, down to the very first or the very latest command is used, up like this. So the arrows are very useful to remember the commands you used earlier. Okay, now we can create a file. And the previous video tutorials, we have seen that we can create directories using mkdir. We can remove directories. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about creating files, deleting files, and copying files. Okay, we can use different ways. Actually, you can use graphical tools, but if you are working as a system administrator, you may not have the opportunity to get graphical user interface Linux distribution. So you should have to understand the commands, how you can create files. So touch is a command, very easy command to create file. For example, f1.txt. So it is created the file f1.txt. This file is for example, if you determine the file f1.txt, this is empty. It has no content in this file. You can also use nano. Nano is another command to create nano, then followed by, for example, f2.txt. You can write the text here. This is my first work. Then you can control X to save, then control Y to replace that. You can write the file name here. Actually, if you wanted to replace on the existing overwrite, you can enter. Now you can determine the file to. That is ASCII text. ASCII text. So now we can also display the file contents using cat command. Cat is not a real cat, but it is a command name on Linux. to display the contents of a file. Cat followed by file name, for example, the contents of F2. So this is my first work. It contains, if you determine cat F1, for example, it has no any content. So you can use cat. VI also, there is a VI very interesting command to create a file, but those are also very, very useful commands. So you can create, you can remove your files. If you wanna remove, for example, you have F1, F2, and other files. If you wanna remove F1, you can use rm command, then file name, followed by file name. Now you can check F1 is deleted. If you want to protect the file name from accidentally deleted, you can use the option -I, then for example, F2, file 2. Are you just sure to remove this file? Just remove regular files. If you press yes, it will remove. Now F2 is removed. Now the second file, because I wanna remove two files consecutively at this using one line of command. Yes. Now you can check if file 1 and file 2 is not available because deleted, remove. If you press no, it will not delete that file. So you can use the option I to make sure that you protect the file from accidentally deleted. Okay. The other is, how can we create make dir, mkdir d1 and mkdir d2. You can watch previous tutorials about how you can work on directories. So now I have created the directories d1 and d2, and I wanna just change the directory to d1. Then I wanna create file into this directory, nano f1.txt, and this is my first time working with files. Now I can save this. Now in this directory, I have created a file f1, and I wanna change to the previous directory. Now I wanna remove the directory rm dir using rm dir d1. Failed to remove because the directory is not empty. You cannot remove the directory which is not empty using rmdir. You cannot also remove using rm. This is used to remove files, rm d1. This is a directory, so you cannot remove using rm. Rm is used to remove files. So how can you remove all files, including the directory, the container of that files? So there is an option rf, very, very dangerous option. So you can be careful when you're removing files. You can use rf -rf, then directory name. Now that directory, including the files in that directory, going to be deleted. There is no that directory d1. So this command is very dangerous command. You should be careful when removing files, especially if you are working as a system administrator. You should be careful these commands. hackers use such kind of commands to remove files from your system remotely. Okay. Now I want to show you how you can copy files from source to destination. Let me create mkdir d1 again, and I want to create file into that directory d1 f1.txt. You can create without changing to that directory using separating by forward slash. Okay, this is my first work. Okay, let me save this file. Now this file d1 contains this one, and you can also check the content of that file using cat. This is my first work, all right? And I wanna copy, but let me check you D2. D2 doesn't contain any file. So I wanna copy the file from D1 to D2 using CP. CP, the source is D1, and the file name that I wanna copy to the destination is f1.txt, and then a space, this destination directory, or to copy this file, D2. Now I can check D2. F1 is copy. I can also check D1. The file is available in both directories because copy is just keeping the original files in the source directory and copying the copy of that file into a destination directory. So you can also use -R option to copy complete directories. Use CP -R. If I want to copy, for example, D2 into D1, CP -R, D2, then the source, the target directory is D1. Now I can check D1. Now D2 is copied into D1 using R option. You can use -I option to protect overwriting. The other important is move. You can move your file from one place, or from source to target directory. So in this case, you can rename a file or to move the file to another directory. You can use this command, either rename the file or move the file to another directory. For example, let me create a file, another file, nano f2.txt. Okay, I have already this file, and I wanna just rename this file mv f2.txt to f3.txt. Now I can check. Now the file is renamed. So you can use this. And another way you can move that file, for example, F3 into D1. I can check this file. That file is moved to another directory. Let me check D1. Yes, this file is moved. So you can use MV, either rename a file or move the file to another directory. So it has two functions. So you can also use the rename command. This is an alternative way. Okay. So this is today's tutorial. So you can learn by watching these video tutorials. You can keep all the commands practicing every day. file permissions in Linux, each file has an associated permission level. This allows the user to prevent others from reading, writing, executing their files or directories. The file permission levels are read, write, and execute. R means read only permission, write, or W means write permission, and X means execute permission. Let's first create a file. For example, leafpad hello.py. This is a leafpad is a command to open up a graphical text editor tool. Print hello. Okay. Let me check the permission of the file by listing with long list hello. Right now, there are 3 users. User, the current user, a group of user, and other user or guest user. If guest users are logged into the system and he or she can access based on the level of the permission that has been given to that file. Right now, this file is created and the file permission, as you can see here, is read, write for user, and read only for group, read only for other user. So this dash represents that missing execution or X for user, and this double dash represents that executing and writing permissions are missing for group of users, and this one also for other users like guest users that missing the writing and executing this file. So right now this file is writing and reading by user only, and group cannot write and execute, and other users also not allowed to execute and writing this file. In case of directory, X also grants permission to list directory contents. The file permission levels can be represented by numeric representation. As you can see, are numerically represented by 4. I mean, W is 2, which means writing. Execute the file, which means 1. And the total of the 3 levels is 7. When you give 7 for the file, which means the user can read, write, and execute. The 3 levels are allowed for the user, and he or she can do the files. How can we give the file permissions? We can use chmod for giving file permissions. If you own that file, right now I am on this file, and I can change the permission of this file using chmod. For example, let me give 7. 7 means writing, reading, and executing this file for user. And for other, for example, 1. 1 means executing, and 0 means no permission for other. The first one is for users, the second one for group, and the third one for other. If you not give the second and the third, this gives only for users that allow to write, read, and execute this file. For example, hello. Let's check the file again by long listing. As you can see here, read, write, and execute is allowed to the other users, not the group, and the user does not allow to write, read, because 7, I think I should put 3 digits. The first digit represents for user, the second digit for group, and the third digit represents others. In this case, I just gave read, write, and execute permission for other users or guest users. The user cannot read, write, execute, and groups does not do like reading, executing, and writing this file. You can see the X symbol on the file. That is, file is protected. So I can change this file, chmod 700. Now the user can read, write, and execute, but groups and others cannot do anything. No permission right now. Yes, read, write, and execute for users. Groups and others does not read, write, and execute this file. And the other is, let's give, for example, 750. Hello. 7 is for user, that is read, write, and execute. 5 is for group, that is 5. 4 plus 1 is 6, 5. So the group can read and execute this file, and the other is not reading, writing, and executing this file. So you can check the 5 permission by long listing. Now read, write, execute for user, read and execute for group. The other users has no permission to write, read, and execute this file. This dash represents that the writing is missing for group. This long dash represents that the reading, writing is missing for other user. Okay, so now you can see the file. You can open up this file and you can see, you can modify, because I am the owner of this file and I can do anything because I have a permission to do this file. Let's execute this file. Yeah, it does execute whatever I can do. And the other command is change owner of the file. I want to change the owner of this file. I can use chown. Chown is a command that used to change the owner of the file. As you can see here, the owner of the file is Nah, that is the current user, the normal user, and I want to change it to the root user. I can first enter into the root user sudo, then I am in the root user and I can change the owner of this file using chown, then minus h capital R, then the username that I want to change the file to that user, the root, and then the file that I want to change the owner of the file. Now I can check the, now as you can see here in the previous one, the owner of the file is Nah, but right now the owner of the file is changed to root. So as a normal user, I cannot do anything. I cannot modify this file because I am not the owner of this file. Even I cannot write anything because it is read only. As you can see here, the symbol represents that in the home directory, this file is owned by the root user, that is forward slash. So even I cannot write nothing in this file because the owner of this file is changed. So to modify this file, I can open up as a root user using sudo leafpad hello. Now this file is open up as a root, but I can grant the permission to the permission for this file, chmod x plus u. I mean, x plus. Now, this is the granting permission for that user. Granting permission for that user. So I can do that anything now. I can modify because I am granted permission for this user using plus chmod plus x with followed by file name in the root as a root user. So because the owner was changed into the root, and the root grant permission to execute this file. Unless and otherwise, I cannot do this file as a normal user because the owner is the root. The root can change the permission to, for example, chmod 777 hello. Now, LH. Now I can open up and I can modify because I am allowed to read, write, and execute. Still, the owner of the file is roots, but the roots allow me to read, write, and execute this file. You see? All groups, users, everyone can do anything this because the root allow to me to modify, write, read this file. What about 700 hello? Right now, I cannot change the permission because of the owner of this file is root. The root only can change the permission because the file owner is changed into root, and I am a normal user. I can only read, write, execute this file, but I cannot change the permission of this file because of I am not the owner of this file. So this is today's lesson, how to allow permission for your file. So this is very basic commands. So everyone should know as a Linux user. Next time I will bring a new topic about Linux. So for today, thanks for watching.